Alright guys, let's talk about obsession. I think that a lot of people want things these days rather than being obsessed, and I feel like if you're not obsessed with doing what you want to do, let's say you want to be like the best basketball player in your team, or the best ballet dancer, or the best baseball player on your team, or in your area or in your state. I think there's a huge difference between someone who wants to be the best at it and someone who's obsessed at being the best, at wanting to be the best. And I feel like if you want to be the top 10%, the top 5% of people who are the greatest in the world, or are the best at what they do, you truly have to be obsessed. And I'm not talking about, oh, you want something, you to do it every day. I'm talking about like you think about it all the time. You have it in the back of your head all the time. You're constantly thinking about it every single day, in the morning, in the middle of the day, or before you go to sleep. That's all you can think about. And I think that's a huge difference between someone who wants something and someone who's obsessed with something. The person who's obsessed with being the best basketball player, or someone who's obsessed with being the best pianist, or being the best at whatever they want to do, I feel like your talent can go so far. You could be 6'3" and be, or you could be even like 6'6" and be one of the best basketball players in your area or in your state. But I feel like if you're not obsessed with being the greatest, if you're not obsessed with being number one, then you can only go so far. And a good indicator, not a good indicator, but a good example would be Isaiah Thomas. He's 5'9", and not a lot of players go to the NBA and play for NBA teams. So Isaiah Thomas is a pretty good example. Muggsy Bogues is like 5'3" and played for the NBA for 14 seasons. And Muggsy Bogues was pretty obsessed. You know how it's gotta be very, very hard to be 5'3" and go into the NBA, especially back then. It must have been a lot harder. But what I'm trying to say is, like, you really truly have to be obsessed. And if you're not obsessed with what you're trying to do, and obsessed with where you want to go with your life and with your career, then you'll just be like the top 9. You'll be like the 90% that just want to be the best, want to be good at what they do. I feel like there's a real fine line between wanting to do something and being obsessed with it. I say just be obsessed, and that's where you're gonna really like outshine everybody else. You're really truly gonna outshine someone who's talented, or someone who just wants to be good at that particular thing, that particular sport, or area in their life. And you have to understand, guys, there's a lot of people who are just want something, but there's a very few people who are obsessed with wanting something. They're obsessed with bettering themselves. They're obsessed with being the best baseball player, or being the best pianist, or being the best race car driver. It doesn't really matter exactly what you want to be great at, but if you're obsessed with it, then that's gonna make you like the best of the best. So you're gonna be like on top of everybody else. You're gonna outshine everybody else for sure, because there's no way you won't. And I feel like talent beats. I feel like not talent. I feel like obsession is always gonna beat talent, because somebody like Isaiah Thomas is like 5'9", and he got into the NBA. He played for like a couple of seasons, but there's other players, that are like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", that got into the NBA but didn't get to play for that long, or like were bench. And I feel like that's where you really have to be obsessed, guys. Truly, you have to be obsessed with your craft, obsessed with what you want to do, and that's the only way you're gonna be the greatest at what you want to do and what you want to become in life. Be obsessed, and that's where I would leave this video at. But if you guys like the video, then make sure you guys subscribe and try and get to 1,000 subscribers. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Be obsessed, and obsession is always going to be talent. That's one thing you guys have to understand. But if you could take something from this video, I really hope you guys took that from it. And let me know if you guys would like if you want to make more videos in the comment sections.